on the last assignment, finalizing and wrapping up our 21st century teaching and learning digital portfolio. As you guys can see, I chose live binders, had a few of my teammates use it, and it really was, to me, the simplest form. As a guy that really didn't do technology, it really doesn't do it. I'm kind of the typewriter and word processor type. This course really had me dive into really what I deemed as successful. And so really proud of myself. I've made a ton of YouTube videos utilizing the Screencasting app now. Again, it's super dope. And then obviously being able to use a digital file cabinet, if you would. So I'm pretty excited. As you can see, I've got the mission statement up, legal issues, diverse classroom of learners and technology, those 3 different videos that I utilize as well, the lunch and learn, legal and ethical issues, emerging trends and technology, and then leadership and technology integration. It's actually uploading right now. And if you want to stop back by in a little bit, you can see the video that's uploaded. It's going to be another 15 minutes or so. So excited just to kind of jump in to you guys to see what goes on. Again, as I did the mission statement, I'm just going to kind of read what I've kind of written down in my script that's uploaded as well as I kind of go through the tabs. So there's a tremendous amount of technology. So teachers can often get overwhelmed due to their lack of time, knowledge to be able to implement lesson plans. Teachers can have insufficient understanding, which leads to poor results of learning outcomes. That can come as a major loss due to poor training, and furthermore, it damages confidence in usage. Though technology is powerful, we will navigate through how person to person is still very impactful. My mission statement was simple. The goals are to have students ready to excel in the 21st century by providing innovative teaching and learning experiences. The focus is on individual needs that align with student culture and state standards. Students can increase engagement by accessing opportunities using technology. These tools focus on individual learning styles and academic abilities that will empower students to the next step on their academic journey. Teachers utilize technology-based formative assessments to gather critical baseline data to assess where students are in their learning processes. Teachers can teach in small groups or individual instruction as needed, providing remediation, modification, accommodation for students. After the post-assessment, will provide students with rich support. My next tab was legal issues. Legal issues affect one's privacy that revolves around ethics. The internet, net neutrality is also a common issue concerning people's having access to information on all sites, applications, and content. The internet is also an ethical issue concerning socioeconomic status of children from around the world who cannot access the tool. Students utilize technology to communicate, collaborate, and access information from a variety of resources. Resources can be local, national, and international. Teachers are developing young experts with 21st century skills. Students can move forward to their goals at their own pace. This empowers students to become independent learners and take ownership of their learning. 21st century technology skills enable students to access, analyze, manage, synthesize, evaluate, create, and share information in a variety of different platforms from a global perspective. These skills promote inclusion and the development of digital literacy, the 4 C's of creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. Students work together to create innovative solutions to real-world problems and communicate their solutions with others. Students live in a technology and media suffused environment. They have access to an abundance of information. Technology tools can change rapidly and constantly. When collaborating, innovative contributions for change are largely impact. They impact students by exposing them to a variety of variety of cultures throughout the world. This enriches student views of the world through different perspectives. I'm going to slide over to the digital technology tab. What I did here was, as a former special education teacher, just really wanted to make sure that I exhaust every possible resource and tool for my students. And again, I broke down a few different pieces, which was anywhere from ReadWorks and to Lexia and AccuPlacer. So a little bit about Lexia. Again, I'm going to go off of Mark just a little bit, just because for time's sake, making sure the video can actually upload. But again, for those of you guys, Lexia is a great app that empowers learners by identifying their strengths, weaknesses. Lessons are scaffolded and be challenging for students. I also did ReadWorks. ReadWorks is a powerful tool that I, as a special education teacher, allowed me to gain in-depth knowledge of each of my students with their IEP learning goals and outcomes. I was able to customize reading levels for each student in a single reading block. My caseload of 9 students were able to utilize their assignment quizzes and especially gather data for progress monitoring. I look at the student's future completely. And so I know that for a lot of students, feedback is critical. I use AccuPlacer, which allows students an opportunity to see exactly where they stand, taking just kind of a national placement testing software. Students receive information on where they rank competitively. That's locally, regionally, and nationally. Many students think that they kind of are working hard and are competitive, but acupuncture has shown that standardized tests are still the wave of the future for a better college experience. So I got those videos there, which were, again, pretty cool. I utilized Google again, and you can see the different lighting that's all over the basement downstairs. But again, as the pandemic happened, I know for a lot of us, technology really took off. And so that was one big piece for me, especially with special education students. Engaging them can be challenging. So I use a ton of social media, love YouTube. I have kids create their own content. I also oftentimes kids love to communicate in terms of text messaging assignments. We use different Google apps. I utilized anything from Facebook to parents through our school website, through my own content page that I have up at school. I really tried to exhaust every option, texting kids to make sure that they were online for my staff as well as my parents. We definitely had a Wednesday, which was an opportunity for midweek to talk to parents about attendance. We had incentives that were embedded in our attendance and class participation. So we really had some of our best scholars in our entire school, including general ed, was our special education students, based upon the commitment that them and their parents had. And again, our old goal of special ed is to get those students, number one, shored up, but also to get out of special ed, right? So again, YouTube has been, and Google Meets have been an incredible resource for us. Next, I did the Lunch and Learn PowerPoint. As I'm kind of clicking all around here, I'm not going to get it too crazy, but it just really went through the opportunity of making sure that in classrooms, not only are we responsible, but we are making sure that our students are learning, both collaboratively and especially research. We want to make sure that as kids are gaining a ton of information at their fingertips, that it's factual, that it's correct, right? Lunch and Learn is about professional development of both students and teachers. Oftentimes their schedules are busy, but in a fast-paced world, we need great information. Teaching our kids how to utilize digital groups and activities From research and project-based learning to team-based learning, games and software, students can bring collaboratively communicate and solve problems together. Teachers engage students on their prior knowledge and skills. Skills are often developed from previous learning. When students are working together while conducting research, they can work independently, use databases for topics, be on appropriate websites and search engines, and use matrices to grade assignments. So again, really great tool, really great idea to maximize our time. I think that's one thing that we've really learned being in a master's program, right, is to utilize your time as much as possible, as efficiently as possible. And for those students that may be behind, especially some of those learners in special ed, to be able to use those lunch times to get students caught up as well as staff caught up on, hey, let's jump into the technology. It isn't as overwhelming as you think or challenging. Just like anything, the more you practice it, the better it will be. Let's see. I think the next piece is the emerging trends and integration. This is a really, really wordy one. What I'll do is just kind of go over. Today, the goal of the teacher is not to instruct, just to instruct. We utilize student-centered approaches where students and teachers work together. They investigate problems, pose solutions, and reflect. The later was where teachers were creators while students were just getting the information delivered and dropped off. To problem solve, ways to engage students, do one-on-one learning, inquiry-based learning, where students must have digital literacy and find understanding and evaluating, creating, and communicating digital information. When research, students should have an outline and biography, a primary source of audio and videos, history books, magazines, or even newspaper articles. In terms of integrating the technology, integrating technology may increase speed, but it doesn't always benefit learners within memorization. Students may gloss over information instead of gaining in-depth knowledge. Cognitive thinking takes time to unionize and contextualize. Data has shown that memorization must be slowed down. When writing by hand, the brain slows down, which allows for learning and memorization. Laptops and tablets are fast, powerful resources. However, it can be a distraction. Students can get on applications that are not school appropriate as well. Using school firewalls or VPN, virtual private networks, can combat issues of abuse. Students provide storytelling conversations, lectures, discussions, and interactive methods to provide teachers with verbal responses and written responses. Within group projects, and these interactions have self-expression. When we think about multimedia, we think of the words pictures. Students today have a rich education of photos, graphs, illustration, videos, and annotations that exhaust all learning strategies for students in diverse populations. Now we're down to our leadership and technology, which is technically what we're doing now. Keeping students safe in school allows students to promote and create any social learning. When students' needs aren't being met, children are at risk for not feeling comfortable at school, may even stop attending. Having policies and procedures, rules combat threats and risks, which ensure efficient day-to-day operations. Everyone has a responsibility when using technology. Teachers will model, teach, and enforce ethical use of information. Technology increases communication and collaboration. Teachers can engage students during lessons in addition to students communicating with one another. Technology has changed the way students solve problems, research, and learn. Technology changes the way teachers teach. Students learn higher order learning thinking skills, providing students skills that are simpler, faster, and cheaper. Providing students opportunities to lead their learning while showing and thinking new ways. Placing students in the driver's seat to express themselves with new media and methods that students are most familiar with. Students become intentional on projects that they create that they can do at their own pace, receive immediate feedback, and correct their learning in a timely manner. National standards allow students, teachers, and administrators to approach education in the classroom. Students must take an active approach in their education. When students set goals and customize their learning environments to achieve these goals, they refine themselves for their best results. Every student is a digital citizen in which understanding the rights and responsibilities that go with the uses of technology. Students must act safely, legally, and ethically online. Students must acknowledge constructors where students need to know the information is reliable and where they can find it. Students also have the responsibility of learning how to find accurate, relevant, reliable, and credible information. Students are problem solvers, being able to troubleshoot the best possible solutions. Students must be able to be great digital citizens, creating digital ideas that help them communicate, use original materials that capture their ideas, prioritizing and presenting ideas to audiences that they want to reach. When understanding these tools that are available to them digitally, students can understand their perspectives and their ideas locally and globally, achieving mutual interest while working together.